What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Orioles Today, and as always, I am Sean Ferguson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this latest episode here on the channel. If you are a fan of this episode, please throw the first base bag at the like button, and if you're a fan of this content, please subscribe. Get yourself daily notifications for all of these daily video drops covering all things the Baltimore Orioles. We have pushed past the 800 subscriber mark. We're getting so much closer to 1,000. Let's make it happen. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. And we're going to go ahead and get into it with a trade, not another Orioles trade, but the Houston Astros and the Atlanta Braves have made a trade. This is coming not long after the Orioles and Angels made one. The Astros are sending Mauricio Dubon over to Atlanta for Nick Allen, who will head over to Houston. It's just an infielder for infielder swap, 1-for-1, just like the O's and Angels just did for Rodriguez and for Ward. And to touch on the Rodriguez Ward trade just a little bit more, I know quite a few of you guys had the opposite opinion when it came to my take on that trade. And for me, just to kind of put a cherry on top there, it's if Rodriguez is healthy and can get back to his levels that he has shown, that he did show in 2024, that I see this as not a great trade for the Orioles, just because you're getting another one-year rental for Taylor Ward, because there's not much expectation that he's going to sign with the Orioles past this upcoming season. So if Rodriguez is able to get back to where he was next year, he's still under team control through 2029. I don't see that as a win. And I get the Orioles looking like they really are in a let's win now with who they have and with the current amount of players on this roster that are still under team control. So I get it from that mentality. And if you don't think that Rodriguez is going to be what you need him to be right now, but if he is able to be that guy again going into next year, I don't see that as a win for the Orioles. But again, Dubon is being shipped over to Atlanta. Nick Allen headed over to the Astros. This is going to be the first, I believe, of quite a few trades you're going to see this offseason. The Orioles started earlier by acquiring Kittredge back from the Cubs, and now you had another trade by the O's, and then you have this one. You're going to start to see more and more, especially as we get into the holidays. So this is just the beginning, I do believe. And one guy I have not talked about is there are a few Japanese pitchers, and the Orioles did go out and get not the most sought-after Japanese pitcher last year in Sagano, but they did get one, as Yamamoto was the guy everybody wanted. And of course, he ended up going to the Dodgers and winning a World Series, but the Orioles did get Sagano. He turned into a back-end guy of the rotation. Nothing terrible, but he is aging, and I just don't see the Orioles bringing him back. But Tatsuya Imai is a guy that the Orioles could be looking at, and they have been linked to. So it's not just throwing it out there saying, hey, this would be great. What if? Well, all those things are true, but again, the Orioles have been linked to definitely be interested and will be pursuing him. And if you got to believe with Grayson Rodriguez being traded over to the Angels, you have another spot, another need in that rotation. Why not look at Imai? He's only 27 years old. He's a two-time NPB All-Star. He went 10-5 last year with a 1.92 ERA. He had 170 strikeouts, and that was over 163 and 2/3 innings pitched. And he's a little bit on the shorter side, which it doesn't matter too much to me. He's 5'11". They have Yamamoto at 5'10", and he did just fine last year. He has a World Series MVP to show it. So Imai is definitely a guy that is going to be sought after by most teams that have money, and if the Orioles are proven to be one of those teams, we'll see if they are interested in him. He has very good high velocity and off speed. I believe his high velocity was reaching around 99. And there's always that, will he be able to translate into the big leagues? He's one of those guys that appears that he will be able to, and you could put him right alongside of a Trevor Rogers in the front end of your rotation. That is going to make a massive difference. There is a projection of around 7-year to about $150 to $155 million contract for him. So we'll see if the Orioles are going to dish out that kind of money this year. Again, Tomoyuki Sagano, we signed last year. It's a 36-year-old, just signed to a 1-year deal. He is now a free agent and free to sign wherever he likes. with what he's shown last year, kind of how he's aging as well, he will be a back end rotation kind of guy. But Imai is a guy that you could put right in the front end, and you will be definitely be paying him that kind of money for that. So it's not a terrible price range, especially if he's able to translate from Japan over to the big leagues, because he was so dominant there. And the Orioles need dominance in that rotation. So we will see who's able to go get him. But I do believe the Orioles are going to be very aggressive trying to get him. And everything I've seen is that is the case. They were linked to him. The first article I've seen being linked to him was the very end of October, and that hasn't changed at all. And kind of talking about where the Orioles are right now, we'll cover where the rotation kind of sits right now on a later episode. But for where the Orioles are right now when it comes to their nine-man batting order, you'd have, after the Taylor Ward trade, of course, you'd have Jackson Holliday there at second, Jordan Westburg there at third, Gunnar Henderson at short. You could put Taylor Ward over in left field. You have Adley Rutschman there, along with Samuel Basallo at catcher, Tyler O'Neill out in right field, Colton Cowser in center. And then you have Kobe Mayo and Ryan Mountcastle there at first base. And that DH spot is open. Like I said, you could put a few guys there, a Mayo or a Basallo or a Rutschman. They can kind of rotate. But then you have such a log jam in that outfield, like we touched on the last episode. We still have Heston that we haven't talked about. Jeremiah Jackson, he is out there as well. And there's quite a few more. So we'll see if any more trades are made to free up room back there. But that is your 9. Let me know how you guys feel about that 9-man batting order and kind of how the depth chart looks right now when it comes to who could potentially be starting and filling out those 9 positions, or 8 positions, not counting the pitcher, but in your batting, your 9-man lineup. And it could be a lot worse. And I know how you guys feel about Kobe Mayo. I had a lot of you guys who didn't agree with my take on Kobe Mayo being let loose instead of Ryan Mountcastle. So we'll see what happens with first base. But catcher's pretty set. Holliday set at second. Gunnar is going to be set at short, along with Jordan at third. But then the outfield becomes a crapshoot at that point, and we'll see exactly what moves are made. But right now, when you put Taylor Ward out there you're not paying him a ton of money, but you're still paying him a little over $11 million for this year, along with a Tyler O'Neill who's making bank out there in left field. Those 2 guys are definitely going to get a lot of playing time. So that is right now what that 9-man lineup looks like. So let me know what you guys think about that lineup. Like I said, it could be a lot worse. And if some of those bats can get back to the type of power bats we've seen in the past, like a Gunnar Henderson hitting over 30, that would be phenomenal. And that's definitely the next step the Orioles need him to take. They need him to shake off 2025 and be in 2026 what he was in 2024. And to finish this up, we have 2 more coaches that have officially been hired by the Orioles as this coaching staff really starts to shape into gear. Hank Conger has been hired as the new bullpen coach. And then as well, Brady North has been hired as an assistant hitting coach. So those are the 2 newest hires for the Baltimore Orioles coaching staff. Conger, he is a guy that he's only 37 years old, so it's another youth addition to this Orioles coaching staff, and that's never a bad thing. And as well as Brady North is only 34 years old. He has ties to Craig Albernaz. They were together on the Tampa Bay Rays 2019 coaching staff. So Albernaz is able to get another brand new face to this coaching staff that he is familiar with and that he actually has ties to. And let me know what you guys think. I'm a fan of this coaching staff so far. And right now, you really only have that one veteran hire in Miguel Cairo. Everyone else is in their 30s or early 40s. But, I mean, they have experience and they, for the most part, have ties with one another. They all have ties to Craig Albernaz. So, and Conger actually has ties to Albernaz as well. So, it kind of goes full circle, and it's great. Like I said before, I love the shot of youth that the Orioles coaching staff is getting. Albernaz himself is a shot of youth when it comes to the managerial role for Baltimore. And he's getting his own guys in there and guys that he's familiar with. And again, I love the Cairo hire to get that veteran coaching presence and not, but you're continuing to add these younger guys to deal with the younger guys, which is, I think it's going to bode well for the Orioles in 2026. But again, Conger and North, the two newest coaches added to the Baltimore Orioles coaching staff, as the coaching staff is nearing completion. And thank you guys so much for tuning into this latest episode. We are pushing close to the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I'm so grateful for that, guys. If you're a fan of this episode, please throw the first base bag at the like button. If you're a fan of this content, please subscribe. Get yourself daily notifications for all of these daily video drops. And I really appreciate you guys tuning into this latest episode. And this is Orioles Today. I'm Sean Ferguson, and let's go O's.